The world is in shock as an intense war rages between America, Israel, and Iran. In my previous videos, I explained why this war began and how much each country has lost so far. In this video, I'll break down America's master plan, Israel's strategy, and how Iran is employing a highly unconventional strategy that continues to surprise observers, even after the death of its supreme leader. I'll also examine the major miscalculations on all sides through a focused war strategy analysis. First, let's understand the objectives of the United States and Israel. What exactly do Donald Trump and Israel want from Iran? Their primary objective is regime change, the removal of Iran's current government, and the elimination of its strategic threat. Donald Trump has openly stated that the goal is to halt Iran's nuclear weapons program, dismantle its missile capabilities, and neutralize the Iranian navy. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has also made it clear that Iran's nuclear and missile programs pose an existential threat to Israel and must be completely dismantled. To achieve this objective, the United States and Israel adopted a doctrine known as multi-domain operations, MDO, coordinating simultaneous attacks across air, sea, land, cyber, and space domains. This strategy rests on three core pillars. Strategy 1. Decapitation strikes, the elimination of senior leadership. The assumption was that by removing Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei and key military commanders, Iran's command and control structure would collapse. Strategy 2. Air superiority, preemptively destroying Iran's air defense systems and missile launch platforms to eliminate its ability to retaliate effectively. Strategy 3. Internal uprising, applying pressure designed to encourage domestic unrest and weaken the regime from within. Washington and Tel Aviv believed that, much like Venezuela's rapid collapse after the capture of President Maduro in January 2026, Iran would surrender within 7 to 10 days. But this is where the situation diverged sharply from expectations. What America anticipated was swift collapse. What followed was escalation. Even after the death of the supreme leader and the elimination of top officials, Iran did not surrender. Instead, it launched a large-scale counteroffensive involving 1,200 missiles and drones targeting American bases and Israeli territory. How was Iran able to coordinate such an operation without central leadership? This is where Iran's strategy becomes particularly striking. Iran's first major doctrine is decentralized mosaic defense, DMD. Anticipating leadership decapitation, Iran restructured its military command into 31 autonomous operational units, one in Tehran and one in each of its 30 provinces. These units are capable of making independent decisions without waiting for central approval. Even if national leadership is eliminated or headquarters destroyed, these units continue functioning independently. Within hours of Khamenei's death, these provincial commands coordinated and launched 1,200 missiles. Washington believed it had neutralized Iran's command structure. Instead, Iran functioned more like a hydra. Removing one head did not disable the system. Iran's second doctrine is bleed-out cost asymmetry. Iran understands how to exploit economic imbalance in modern warfare. Israel operates the Iron Dome. The United States deploys Patriot air defense systems. On paper, these systems should intercept incoming threats with ease. However, the cost equation tells a different story. Iran's Shahed 136 drones cost approximately $20,000 to $50,000 per unit. A single Patriot interceptor missile can cost up to $4 million. Iron Dome interceptors range from $50,000 to $100,000. In practical terms, for every dollar Iran spends, the US and Israel may be forced to spend exponentially more. If Iran deploys hundreds of low-cost drones, the defending side must expend high-value interceptors at unsustainable rates. Over time, this drains billions from defense budgets. This is not about immediate destruction. It is about financial exhaustion. Iran's third strategy involves targeting Gulf states, a form of asymmetric economic warfare. Iran understands that American bases operating against it are located across Gulf nations, such as the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. By targeting critical civilian infrastructure, airports, energy facilities, logistics hubs, Iran aims to generate economic pressure. Tourism, foreign investment, and energy exports become vulnerable. The logic is strategic coercion. If Gulf economies begin to suffer, political pressure may build to limit American operations. Some analysts describe this as a fratricide before suicide approach, escalating regional cost before facing potential defeat. Now let's examine the miscalculations. Miscalculation 1. Underestimating Iran's decentralized mosaic defense. American planners assumed leadership removal would trigger rapid collapse. Instead, the conflict transitioned from a short-term strike campaign into a prolonged engagement with no clear timeline for resolution. Miscalculation 2. Friendly fire and operational saturation. On March 2nd, Kuwait's air defenses mistakenly shot down 3 F-15 aircraft amid intense aerial saturation. With drones and missiles crowding the skies, communications were disrupted, increasing the risk of misidentification. This is not a limited operation. Iran possesses more than 3,000 ballistic missiles and extensive underground facilities developed over decades. It has prepared for a scenario like this for nearly 40 years. Now a broader question emerges. Why are Russia and China not intervening directly? Russia remains constrained by its ongoing war in Ukraine. Sanctions, depleted equipment, and fear of direct NATO involvement limit Moscow's options. It offers diplomatic backing but avoids military escalation. China's position is economic. Beijing maintains extensive trade ties with both the United States and Gulf states. Its priority remains protecting supply chains and Belt and Road investments. Direct intervention risks economic disruption. Both powers appear to be calculating long-term strategic advantage rather than immediate involvement. Meanwhile, the UK and much of Europe have resisted deeper engagement. Public opinion in Britain strongly opposes entering another conflict after years of support for Ukraine. European governments also fear refugee flows and economic fallout if the war expands. Historical parallels are unavoidable. Vietnam demonstrated the dangers of underestimating asymmetric resistance. Afghanistan illustrated the limits of regime change without durable local governance. Iraq revealed the risks of power vacuums. Libya showed how leadership removal can lead to prolonged instability. These precedents shaped global concerns about Iran. Now, consider endurance. The United States holds a $28 trillion economy and a $900 billion defense budget. It can sustain prolonged operations, but domestic opposition could constrain duration to 6 to 12 months. Israel has mobilized approximately 100,000 troops, yet its smaller economy may limit sustained high-intensity engagement. Iran's economy remains weakened by sanctions. Its missile and drone stockpiles may sustain months of conflict. However, internal unrest due to fuel shortages and power disruptions poses risks. Iran's central objective appears to be prolongation, extending the war until political fatigue sets in among its adversaries. Intercepting one missile often requires launching 3 to 6 defensive interceptors. Stockpiles in the region are finite. The broader consequence is global. Energy markets are destabilized. The Strait of Hormuz faces disruption. Oil prices could surge to $150–200 per barrel. LNG production in Qatar is affected. Infrastructure damage in Dubai compounds regional risk. This is hybrid warfare. America's strategy relies on precision strikes, while Iran's depends on large-scale drone swarms. The world now stands closer to systemic escalation than at any point in recent years. The question is no longer simply who strikes harder, but who can endure longer. What do you think? Was America's decision strategically justified? Or can Iran's doctrine outlast its adversaries? Let me know your perspective in the comments.